Hey, Shalom, Esra. I want to start off source by giving all praise to Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Rakak, double honors to the apostles of GMS and honors to brothers doing the work in truth, with sincerity. Yeah, I haven't really got a lot for this one. This is just something I was meditating on, right? Because whenever I start my videos, I always start the same way. Would you call it giving all praise to Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, and double honors to the apostles of GMS. But when you say it so regularly, it just can become something that is said. You're not really feeling the force behind it, right? It's just a bit of vain repetition, right? And it's the apostles have mentioned it several times where you have people who say double honors to the apostles but won't actually really feel it, right? The apostles, man, they've been out there, for decades. The apostles have been out there longer than I've been alive, right? And all to build the Lord's house, and it's a sacrifice that what do you call it, that they've made. And let me get that as well. So Romans 12 says, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service, right? So year in, year out, Apostle Half, I believe over 30 years now, been pushing this truth, right? Apostle Half been, doing this work for a long time. Obviously all the apostles as well, right? Made their bodies a living sacrifice. They've lost, right? Not everything spoken on camera, but what would you call it, from certain videos. I remember the apostles have given up, family have given up this, that, and the other, right? What would you call it? But here's the beautiful thing: the Lord's gonna reward them, for what you call it, for their for the work that they've done, right? Let me also get this as well, because a lot of people lose patience. That's not what I want. 14, yeah, verse 14. Right, it says Sirach 2:14 says, woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will you do when the Lord shall visit you? Right, which is the complete opposite to what the apostles have done. The apostles haven't lost patience, right? The apostles have been, like I said, doing this, doing the work for a ministry for a very long time. It's that sacrifice that you always got to remember, right? Just like how, in the carnal sense, you see people who've been, I don't know, in football, so soccer as you'd call it, you have certain veteran goalkeepers who've been in the game for such a long time. Well, in fact, I'll give you an example. Arsene Wenger, he's been manager of Arsenal for like 22 years, right? And even, would you call it, rival managers have come out and said, look, man, hey, that, this, that's a great feat. That's, that's something worthy of honor, right? And that's just a carnal thing. He's just a would you call it, a football manager, right? So how much more so the apostles who have been laboring for so long, diligently, week in, week out, right? They've been laboring. So, hey, they're worthy of that double honor. But like I said, this is more just to hit the point home as to, would you call it, to, what am I doing now? So here, this is just to hit the point home, that to always remember what that double honors means, and whether it's you're just saying it, or whether whether you actually mean it, right? So Revelations 2:25 says, but that which you have hold fast till I come, and he that keepeth, and that's the point. That's what I wanted to get. Sorry, and I'll read into it, right? They've supposed to have been holding fast, right? And this thing is bitter, right? Hey, let me get that as well. This thing of ours, man, it's bitter. This is Revelations 10:10. It says, and I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up, and it was in my mouth sweet as honey. But as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. And what that's talking about is the fact that when you come into this truth, you hear, yeah, you're going to have the next kingdom to come. You hear you're gonna have slaves. You hear you can, have however many women you want. You hear, you're gonna be a king, this, that, and the other, and all of that is sweet. You're like, oh man, yeah, bring it on. But then the realities of the scriptures hit, right? You lose people, right? You can't you be seeing other people doing things, and then you can't do those things, so those things are contrary, right? And then they start looking at you sideways, right? So like, well, I mean, that goes back to the fact that you'll lose people, you'll lose quote unquote opportunities, right? You can't enjoy your children, for instance, right? Imagine that. Hey, children are a beautiful thing. What was it? Psalms 127 speaks about how believe, yeah, 127, Psalms 127:3 says, "Lo, children are an heritage of Yahweh, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. As arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are children of the youth. Happy is the man that hath his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with the enemies in the gate." Right. So basically, children are ultimately a blessing, but in this kingdom, you can't. What would you call it? You can't enjoy your children, but here it is. The apostles have endured all that. Every now and then you hear apostles will certain apostles will give mention to their, the children that they have, right? And then and they ain't always the best relationships, but ultimately, look, families, their families may not understand that they do this work so that they can be saved, as in the apostles themselves, but also in the hope that their household can be saved, right? And to have that, you having someone, oh, you're never there. Not saying this happens, but it's a possibility, because I know it happens, to younger brothers. It happens to brothers, in our camp. You're like, oh, you're never there, this and the other, blah, 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 blah. These times, you're out there putting your body as a living sacrifice, week in, week out. On the apostles' case, decades in, decades out, right? For the hope that the Lord may have mercy on yourself as well as your household. But then all your household do is chat shit. Imagine how that feels, right? But they've endured all of this, right? And they're gonna overcome it, man. Right, it says, and he hath overcometh, back in Revelations 2:26, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, right? To him will I give power over the nations, right? So the Lord's going to reward, the apostles, for all of the the labors that they've had, that they've made, right? Because they've held fast this, this thing of us. Whereas, like I said, men came, men left. You hear the apostles say, man, hey, we've seen thousands of guys fall out, right? But hey, the Lord's going to come with his reward, right? But all we can do for this time being is just to always give, in fact, someone get that, is to just always give the double honors, right? It says 1 Timothy 5:17, it says, let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. And hey, can you say anyone has labored? As in, like, the apostles have labored, man. Cannot be in contrasted to anyone else. They have labored diligently, in season, out of season, winters they've been there, snowstorms they've been there, heat waves they've been there, rain they've been there, right? Overcoming all the scoffers, all the scorners, right? And then because it's something that people say, you'll be saying, hey, double honors to Apostle GMS, but then you won't be, helping in any way, right? So 1 Corinthians 9:11, it says, if we have sown unto you spiritual things, which what the apostles have done, right? It says, is it a great thing if we shall reap your carnal things? Right? So basically saying, look, hey, we've given you spiritual things, but these times you don't even want to give us your carnal things, right? And what's better, the spiritual or the carnal? The spiritual, right? Hey, I can't give the apostles, some hella spiritual breakdowns, right? I'm still a baby. Right? Whereas these are adults, right? What revelation can I come and give them, right? So what is it if I give them something carnal, i.e. your tithes, right? What was it? Malachi, shall a man rob? Shall a man? Slow, if you bear with me. This is Malachi 3. I know it's around 3 somewhere. Where is it? No, I know it's in Malachi, sorry. I forgot where it was. But the scriptures talk about, shall a man rob the Most High? Oh, there it is, verse 8. Malachi 3 and 8 says, will a man rob God? It says, yet ye have robbed me. But ye say, wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes and offerings. Right? So the least you can do, if you're given this mantra of double honors, double honors is a reap unto the apostle your spirit, your carnal things, if you are able, right? Because sometimes you ain't able, right? But yeah, these are just some thoughts I had in terms of this double honors and stuff. Because like I said, you be doing your videos and you just get so used to just saying, hey, double honors, and honestly, brothers do it. All like I said, it just becomes a mantra. You gotta feel it and you gotta mean it and understand why it is that you're saying it. Yeah, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. So up until the next time, I'm gonna say shalom.